Imagine being so hungry that your stomach aches, yet you give away your only meal to strangers. That's exactly what one little boy did, and the very next day, a millionaire knocked on his door. What happened next will leave you speechless. Hungry, tired, and with nothing left but one small plate of food, a little boy made a choice that would change his life forever. In a small, struggling neighborhood lived a boy named Marcus. His life wasn't easy. His father had passed away years ago, and his mother worked endless hours cleaning houses just to keep the lights on. Every day was a battle to survive, and every meal felt like a blessing. That evening, Marcus's mother managed to put together one simple dinner, just a bowl of soup with a piece of bread. For most people, it would seem small, but for Marcus, it was a treasure. After a long day, he finally sat down, his stomach growling, ready to eat. But then, there was a knock at the door. Marcus opened it and saw an elderly couple standing there. Their faces were tired, their clothes torn, and their hands shaking from the cold. With weak voices, they asked if he had anything to eat. Marcus glanced at his bowl. His stomach reminded him how hungry he was. But then he looked into the couple's eyes full of pain and hopelessness. Without saying a word, Marcus lifted his meal, walked outside, and placed it in their hands. "You need this more than me," he whispered. The old man's eyes filled with tears. His wife held his hand tightly as they thanked Marcus again and again. They walked away slowly, leaving Marcus standing at the door with nothing to eat. That night, he went to bed hungry. But instead of sadness, he felt a strange warmth inside, because he had chosen kindness. The next morning, another knock came. This time, when Marcus opened the door, he froze. Standing there was a well-dressed millionaire. He introduced himself and said, "Are you the boy who gave away his meal last night?" Marcus nodded shyly. The man smiled. "Those two people you helped, they're my parents. They told me about your kindness." The millionaire hugged Marcus and handed his mother an envelope full of money. "From today forward, you'll never have to worry about food or rent again. Your son's heart has touched mine." And from that day, Marcus and his mother lived a life filled with blessings, all because one hungry boy chose to give instead of keep. Moral: kindness has the power to open doors that even money cannot buy. Marcus sat quietly at the small wooden table, the steam from the soup rising into the cold air of his home. His stomach twisted with hunger. It had been a long day, and this was the only meal he had to look forward to. Just as he lifted the spoon, a soft knock echoed through the room. Curious, Marcus went to the door. When he opened it, he froze. Standing there was an old couple. Their clothes were ragged, their faces pale, and their bodies shivered from the evening chill. The woman clutched her husband's arm for support, and the man's voice trembled as he spoke. "Son, do you have anything to eat? We haven't eaten in days." Marcus felt his heart sink. He glanced back at his bowl, the only food in the house. His stomach growled loudly, reminding him how badly he needed it. For a brief moment, he hesitated, but then he looked again at the couple. Their tired eyes told a story of pain, struggle, and hopelessness. He realized something deep inside him. Sometimes the heart is stronger than hunger. Without a second thought, Marcus picked up his plate, walked outside, and placed it gently in the old woman's hands. "You need this more than me," he whispered, his voice soft but firm. The couple's reaction was overwhelming. Tears rolled down the woman's cheeks as she clutched the food close, while the man's eyes glistened with gratitude. They tried to refuse, saying, "But this is all you have." Marcus only smiled and shook his head. "Don't worry about me," he said. "As long as you're not hungry tonight, that's enough." The old man placed a trembling hand on Marcus's shoulder. "May God bless you, child. Your kindness will not be forgotten." With slow steps, they walked away, holding the meal as though it were the most precious gift in the world. That night, Marcus lay in bed with an empty stomach. The hunger gnawed at him, but there was something greater inside him, a quiet peace, a warmth that hunger could not steal. He had given away his only meal, but in return, he had gained something priceless, the joy of compassion. And deep in his heart, Marcus knew acts of kindness always find their way back. The next morning, just as the sun peeked through the thin curtains, Marcus heard another knock at the door. He rubbed his tired eyes and shuffled across the room, still weak from going to bed hungry. But when he pulled the door open, his heart skipped a beat. Standing there was not a poor traveler, not a neighbor, but a wealthy man in a sharp suit, his car gleaming behind him. The man looked powerful, confident, and important. Marcus froze, unsure if he was dreaming. The stranger leaned down slightly and asked, "Are you the boy who gave away his meal last night?" Marcus hesitated, then nodded shyly, his hands still gripping the doorframe. "Yes, that was me." To his surprise, the man's serious expression softened into a smile. "That old couple you helped, they're my parents. They told me everything." Marcus's eyes widened. He had no idea the tired, hungry strangers were connected to someone so important. His mother, hearing voices, hurried over. She nearly gasped when she saw the well-dressed visitor. The man stepped inside respectfully. Your son did something most adults wouldn't do. He gave away his only food, not knowing who those people were, not expecting anything in return. That kind of kindness is rare and unforgettable. He reached into his briefcase and placed a thick envelope on the table. Inside was enough money to cover months, maybe years, of rent and food. From today, he said firmly, you and your son will never have to worry about going hungry again. Marcus's mother was speechless. Tears welled in her eyes as she clutched her son tightly. Why would you do this for us? She whispered. The man smiled and looked directly at Marcus. Because kindness like his deserves to be rewarded. Last night, he gave my parents hope when they had none. Today, it's my turn to give hope back to him. He knelt down, placed his hand on Marcus's shoulder, and added softly, never lose that heart of yours, son. It's worth more than all the money in the world. In that moment, Marcus realized something powerful. Sometimes, a single act of compassion can open doors you never imagined. The man stepped forward, his eyes filled with pride and gratitude. Without hesitation, he bent down and wrapped Marcus in a warm embrace. Marcus stood still for a moment, surprised by the hug, but then he smiled shyly, feeling the strength of a man who truly meant what he said. Turning to Marcus's mother, the millionaire pulled out an envelope and placed it gently into her hands. She opened it with trembling fingers and gasped. Inside was not just money, but enough to change their entire future. From today, the man declared, his voice steady, you will never have to worry about food, rent, or survival again. Your son's kindness has touched my soul, and I will make sure both of you are taken care of. Tears streamed down Marcus's mother's face as she clutched her son tightly, whispering, do you see, Marcus? Your heart, your kindness, this is what makes you truly rich. For the first time in years, their tiny home was filled with hope instead of fear. The weight of poverty, which had hung over them like a shadow, seemed to lift that very moment. From that day forward, Marcus and his mother lived a better life. Not because they asked for charity, and not because luck suddenly appeared out of nowhere, but because of one powerful truth. A simple act of kindness has the power to open doors that nothing else can. Marcus continued to grow, never forgetting the lesson he learned that night. Whenever he saw someone in need, he remembered the old couple's eyes, the gratitude in their voices, and the unexpected blessing that followed. He understood that giving is not about what you lose, but about what you create in someone else's heart. And so, the boy who once went to bed hungry woke up the next day, surrounded by blessings that would feed him for a lifetime. His story became a reminder to everyone around him. The world changes, not through grand gestures, but through small acts of love and sacrifice. Because in the end, it wasn't money that transformed Marcus's life. It was the power of compassion. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with someone who needs hope today. And if you love hearing powerful stories like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. Thank you for watching, and remember, kindness always comes back.